It is just me and Chloe today. Hold my hand, girly. She's got an appointment that I need her fully focused for, and I don't know what the outcome's gonna be. This is something that I'm walking into feeling kind of blind, but hopeful. But also part of me knows that I could get answers that I don't want. We'll see how it goes. Back in October, Chloe had one night where she just could not hear, and it really freaked me out. She came into the room because of something in the middle of the night, and I was trying to talk to her, and she like just kept on asking her same question over and over again. Like it wasn't registering that I was answering her question or saying her name or anything. I had to yell for her to be able to recognize my voice and hear anything that I was saying. And that really scared me. She hadn't complained about her ears hurting or anything, and so it really just took me by surprise. So that day I called the doctor, and thankfully they had an appointment in, and she had an ear infection. She had a double ear infection, and the doctor said it was so bad to not be surprised if her eardrums busted and stuff like started oozing out of her ears. Thankfully that didn't happen. So she had her antibiotic, we got rid of the ear infections, and she still couldn't hear very well. She was hearing better than that one time where she couldn't hear at all, but she was still constantly saying, "What, mommy? What'd you say? I can't hear you." And I've never had a kid say that to me before. Can you climb up? That's a pretty tall chair.
I can.
Oh, you can too. You're a big girl. That's a tall chair. I don't know. I love you. Do you like sitting in that chair? It's really tall.
It's comfy.
Good.
What is this?
What is that? You tell me.
A penguin.
I waited until her healthy checkup after she turned 4 and made sure at that checkup to tell the doctor, I want to get a hearing test. I want to see how she's doing. So we got her hearing test scheduled for a few weeks later. My chiropractor wanted to see her like right before her appointment to test, just to adjust her again, check her ears, just see how things are happening. And at that appointment, I thought Chloe's hearing had started doing good. And I actually talked to the chiropractor about, I was thinking about maybe just canceling her hearing appointment because she seems to be doing just fine now. And the chiropractor thankfully encouraged me, I would just go ahead and get it checked out. And so we did her hearing test. The day that I was thinking like, she's fine, like she can hear fine now, she failed her test.
Do I have shots to give me Band-Aid?
No, they won't give you a shot here. Do you want a Band-Aid?
Yeah. Do they have cute Band-Aids?
I don't know if they have cute Band-Aids here.
I want the one that has a cute Band-Aid.
You want to go to a doctor with cute Band-Aids?
Yeah.
The amount that she failed it in both ears completely when I thought she was hearing okay, it just frustrates me. It makes me sad to think of how bad her hearing was that night that she couldn't hear anything, or how bad it was like anywhere in between that. Because her good part for me was still a fail on the hearing test.
My ear hurts.
Your ear hurts? We're gonna get that fixed soon. Cue all the mom guilt that wants to come in and just say how terrible a mom that I am and blah, 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 blah. And thankfully I am at a different season of life where I don't let that mom guilt, negative self-talk rule my days, because I can't. Like, I was doing what I knew when I was aware of something happening, and you know, some of these things go unlooked for a long time, and some of these things just are not in our control, and you do the best that you can. And I wasn't ignoring things purposely. So all that mom guilt, like, just has to be shoved aside. Like, can't pay attention to that, because it does no good. It doesn't help anything. It doesn't make her feel better. It doesn't make her hear better. It doesn't make our days go better. She found a penny while we were waiting, and now she's got stickers, so her hands are full. She thankfully just left me the folder.
It's falling off.
It's falling off. We're all sorts of out of sorts. So looks like this little girl is gonna have surgery for tubes in her ears. I've got mixed emotions about it, but she'll do good. The news that I got wasn't surprising and wasn't what I was hoping for, because I never want to be the mom that freaks out also over something that isn't a big deal. But I also don't want something to be a big deal. It's just, I don't know, that's just always, always crazy. But the good thing was the type of hearing loss that she had was fixable, and that tubes would be able to heal that. It's not the greatest news, but also not something that was nerve-wracking like it was of putting our newborn under anesthesia. So just kind of like trying not to worry about it, but having a little bit of worry in there, and great advice and reminders of friends of like, this is in God's hands. Like God's saying like, I love Chloe way more than you do. I'm gonna take care of her. And just having to rest in that and trust in that, okay, she's gonna be fine. Hi Kim, this is Dana Schmoyer. I'm calling on behalf of Chloe, who is scheduled to do her tubes on Tuesday. I'm struggling with the billing department, trying to get a good quote on her. There was a short window between finding out that Chloe needed tubes in her ears and actually gonna be able to get those in her ears. But along with that short window caused a little bit of issues trying to figure out stuff with the, what's it called, financial department, billing department. And so that was a little hectic because we do cash pay. I wanted all the full information up front and wasn't getting it. And so that was causing a lot of stress already, on top of like, all right, we need to have this procedure done and wanting it done as soon as possible. But knowing that the billing department was saying I needed to pay my bill beforehand, but that they weren't going to be able to give me the full information of what I was supposed to pay beforehand in order for me to pay for her to have surgery. And it was just all so frustrating.
What was that?
I just want to cry. Going back and forth feeling like I was just staring at a wall or talking to a wall every time I would call and try to get answers and get the information that I needed to be able to pay for her procedure, which they told me I had to do.
Thank you for calling ENT and Allergy Specialist.
I just felt hopeless of not being able to help her. And so it was coming down to the wire of I had to pay that day, but not having the correct information that day to be able to pay that day.
All receptionists are helping other patients. If you would like
Knock,
to leave
knock.
a message, please press 1.
T-Rex.
If you would like to stay on the line,
Tyrannosaurus Rex,
and a receptionist will be with you as soon as possible.
And me just fighting, like, it's already been so many months since she had that like large hearing loss, and starting this process of trying to figure out what's going on and why is she not hearing well. And now we're like have an answer of what needs to happen so she can, and this possibility of it not happening. Oh man, I was a wreck. Oh my goodness, I'm so not pleased with this. I'm getting mad. Just tears upon tears and frustration and so much anger trying to get my daughter what she needed.
Can provide a comprehensive
Is
hearing
there-
evaluation.
Alright, I'm giving up. We'll see you later, okay? So surgery day came, and it was the earliest time that we could have, and I'm so thankful for that. Alright, let's go. Hi, kitty kitties. Okay, go on, Chloe. Do you want to feed him before we leave? Hi, Blue. I was a little nervous with all the drama happening with the billing department of how well she was going to be taken care of. That started to become a worry to me. And I also had friends pray over us with that and that was another reminder, like the Lord's got this. The Lord has her. He cares for her. She's gonna be taken care of. And that was comforting. I knew I trusted the doctor and his nurse, but a business as a whole, I was just kind of struggling with my trust in them. This gets to go over your head. They give you a hat. Okay. So they keep all your hair.
Funny.
It was a funny hat.
That's the last time I've seen one of these, was when you were born. It's gonna go over your ears.
Oh, that's tickles.
You're gonna see what you look like.
I like to make that.
You look kind of silly. You like it?
Yeah, but I'm silly.
You are silly. You look like Karis right now. You're all in blue. Are you Karis or Chloe?
Chloe.
Surgery went great. She ended up getting her adenoids out, which she needed, and recovery was a little rough. She was a little out of it for a little bit. How you feeling?
Good.
You feel good? You look really tired. Are you hungry? I called a friend and had her scheduled to come and watch the kids while I was with Chloe at surgery. As I sat with Chloe as she was coming out of her anesthesia and was just so upset and in pain from her adenoids being taken out, I knew I was gonna need some extra help around the house for just a little bit to get Chloe like settled and doing okay. Where are you going? Where are you going? And our kids just love our friends, and Lenny was just the absolute best to have come and stay and just spend some time with the kids, and the kids just love her, and Chloe even wanted her to read her a book, and it's just such a sweet moment to see people pouring into your kids, and I loved it. It was so touching. It has been a couple weeks since Chloe's surgery. She got tubes in both of her ears. She got her adenoids taken out. Life was a little rough for a couple of days there, so I didn't record any of that just to respect her, because she was not real happy healing from that. I'll come in, y'all scoot over. Over the past couple of weeks, Chloe's hearing has seemed pretty good. She actually even wore headphones for a couple days because she could hear. And if you could imagine, our house with 7 children in it, it can be quite loud at times, and she just was not having it at points and was just like, that's too loud. Like normal activities that she does around the house, like was just like, like it was too much, and she was saying it hurt. And so we let her wear the headphones, the noise canceling headphones, for a couple days as she got used to it, and she just stopped asking on her own for them. But that was sweet that she just like was like, oh, and part of me was like, that must have been kind of nice to the house has been quiet for you all this long. Hey Chloe. Chloe, can you hear better? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey Karis, can Chloe hear better? Do her ears hurt still? Mm-mm. Is she all better?
No.
Get y'all's fingers down. How's your ears?
No.
Not really well.
Yeah, just a little bit hurt.
They still hurt?
No, just a little bit.
So going into her checkup, I was very hopeful that things were gonna be looking good, but I just wanted the doctor's like, okay, of like, she's doing good. And so he looked into her ears, and her ears looked healthy. We did her hearing test, and she can hear. She passed completely. No issues anymore. Everything checked out good. And the doctor said her ears even looked good. So even the tubes in them and now everything is great. So we don't check up for another 6 months. Chloe having issues with her hearing was one thing that I just kept on like trying to choose to not worry about. And that's not something that comes natural for me at all. But it definitely helped. It helped me to not worry about all the what ifs or think about the what ifs and everything. And I think those are natural, but I didn't allow it to consume me. But I also am comparing it to Livia's 3 surgeries that she had in her first year, which were a lot more details to take care of her and everything. So I think perspective has something to do with it. and just choosing to not worry has a huge part about it. I am so glad that Chloe is better and she's hearing good. There were a few times throughout that just, part of me wanted to freak out, but part of me, what?
I wasn't scared.
You weren't scared? I'm so glad you weren't scared. But you're good. They didn't even give us the hearing test. Like, she didn't even chart it on there.
And I conned with Mom.
You did, because everything was good. She was totally fine now. So we go back in 6 months. I don't know if they'll do a hearing test again then, or if it's just gonna be check on tubes, see if they're still in there and how her ears are looking or whatever. So we'll find out then. But I'm happy with the results of how she's doing. And it just seems like I'm just so thankful for the technology that we have, and it just seemed like such a simple procedure to fix her hearing that I'm so thankful that it wasn't anything bigger than just having to get tubes in. She's hearing well now. She's back to a normal kid, and it's fun.